Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this special board meeting of September 9, 2025 to order. The time is 5:05 p.m. Chief, has the lobby been attended to? Yes. Thank you, sir. The purpose of today's meeting is to hold a public hearing to consider the adoption of the 2025-2026 final millage rates and the 2025-2026 final budget. For points of reference, Board Member Jordan and persons will be participating via Teams pursuant to Board Policy 0164.1. They are eligible to vote on items during tonight's action meeting. So, Mr. Jordan, Ms. Jordan and Mr. Persons, are you both on the line?
I am.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, at this time, we request that all mobile devices be put in a silent mode. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the members of the public of the district's mission, which is ensure that each student achieves his or her highest personal potential and the district's vision to be a world-class school system. On today's agenda, it includes presentation on the percent of increase or decrease over the rollback rate, proposed millage, budget overview, proposed fiscal year 26 final budget, public hearing on the proposed millage rates and final budget, and adoption of required local effort millage, basic discretionary millage, capital outlay millage, resolution determining revenues and millages, and resolutions adopting the final millage rates for fiscal year 2025-2026, fiscal year 26 final budget, and related resolutions adopting the final budget, and then board member comment. So, board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I make a motion.
Okay, moved by Ms. Chaviano. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Ribble. Please vote. And Mr. Persons and Ms. Jordan, are they going to have electronic voting? Okay. I'm not.
Yes,
There it
we
is.
are able. I am able to vote.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Mine just came up.
Yeah, I do not see electronic voting for myself, but I am a yes.
Very much, and it's my pleasure to introduce our team, Ms. Letcher and Ms. Cox, who will be leading us through our presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon again, board members, Superintendent Carlin, and Attorney Dupree Bruno. This hearing is the second of two public hearings required under Florida statutes to give the public an opportunity to provide input into the proposed millage levy and the budget for this fiscal year. The superintendent submitted her proposed tentative budget to the board on July 22nd, 2025. The tentative hearing was advertised in the news press on Friday, July 25th, 2025. The first public hearing was held on July 29th, 2025 to discuss and adopt the tentative millage rates and tentative budget. On Tuesday, September 2nd, you received information on the final budget for 25-26. The second and final budget public hearing being held today was noticed through a direct mailing from the property appraiser's office. That mail document is known as the Truth in Millage Notice or TRIM Notice and is sent as required by law. At this moment, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Letcher to go through part of the presentation.
Thank you. So as outlined by TRIM requirements, we first must discuss the rollback rate. And the rollback rate is the millage which, when applied to the current year's tax roll, net of adjustments for new growth, would produce the same dollars that we received in the previous year. The calculated rollback rate is 5.2441. The proposed millage rate for 25-26 is 5.319, and that is an increase of 0.033 mils from the 24-25 millage rate of 5.286, and an increase of 1.43% over the rollback rate. The new money will generate $49 million more than it did last year because of the increased tax roll and millage rate. However, we will not see that full $49 million from that required local effort increase. As what happens is when the required local effort increases, the state portion decreases, so we will not see 31 million of that. That will be, the state would reduce it by. The required local effort is 3.071, and as we said, that's a 0.033 increase from the previous year. I'd like to point out that the required local effort is required for the board to approve. You don't have an option if we want to participate in the Florida Education Finance Program. If that's not approved, we would lose $422.5 million from the state. The 0.748 is the same as it has been in past years, and that's our discretionary, and the capital mills is at 1.5, which has not changed, and we have a total mills of 5.319. So as you can see, millage comparisons over the years, our mills have been reducing, and this year just was a slight increase over previous years. Normally in this slide, I would be showing that as the tax roll goes up, the millage rate comes down. This is the first year that when the tax roll went up, our millage rate actually went up just a little bit. The tax roll is estimated to be about $169 billion, which is an $8.6 billion increase over FY25's, and it represents a 5.39% increase. So what does that mean for our taxpayers? So if one of our taxpayers had the 5.39% applied to their value of their home, and last year's value was $100,000, this year's value would be $105,390. At last year's rate and the $100,000, they would have paid $528.60. This year, with the new value and the new tax rate, they would pay $560.57. So they would have a difference of $31.97 over last year's amount. If they had the Save Our Homes on their property, and it would lock it in at no more than 3% increase, they would have seen that 3% increase, and that would have been $100,000 last year, $103,000 this year. The amount they would have paid last year would have been $396.45. And their new rate would be $414.88, so they would only be paying $18.43 more than they did in the previous year. Of course, this all depends on the individual's property value. So on the millages, the required local effort this year will raise for the school district $498,608,981. Our basic discretionary will generate $121,445,626, and our capital outlay at 1.5 will generate $243,540,694 for a total of $863,595,301. So when you're looking at our total budget, it's made up of 6 parts. The total budget that we're recommending to you tonight is going to be at about $2.9 billion, with the general fund and the capital being the largest 2 pieces of that. So as I was saying, the budget is made up of 6 different parts. There's the general fund, which is the day-to-day operating expenses of the district. Our debt service, which pays for our debt or our COPS payments. I'd like to point out that the debt that we have in there is kind of like doubled because it's a transfer from capital into debt. So it's really showing twice in the budget. And then our capital budget is there, which we, of course, as you know, use to build schools, buy equipment, provide maintenance and safety. And then we have our food service, which provides breakfast and lunch for all of our students. Our special revenue funds are our grants that come in from the state, basically like IDEA and Title I. And then our internal service, which covers all of our health and property insurance. And this, again, is a transfer from other funds, so it is a duplicated number in the budget as well. So as we go through the different parts, our general fund is our major source of revenue. It's budgeted at $1.3 billion and is 44% of our total budget. The fund balance that we have was reduced by the previous year of about $18 million. That doesn't include our state grants and our hurricane funds, that's just the general fund. We are, as we spoke before, continuing to bring our fund balance down, and we're trying to do that in a fiscally responsible manner. We are continuing to realign our resources by looking at places that we can reinvest money, make some cuts and reinvest it into other areas. And our budget supports over 100,000 students. Our general fund focuses on the classroom. We do have reading initiatives at the elementary level. We take care of our students in every way with mental wellness, and we look at any additional interventions that are needed and supports and provide those for our students. We are also focusing on employee retention, and we're focusing on some academic objectives this year. We're looking at core instruction, we're benchmarking alignments, we're looking at lesson planning in collaborative teams, and looking at professional learning communities. So the Florida Education Finance Program is a big part of our general fund. It's $1.043 billion of the total budget. It is what we receive from the Florida Education Finance Program. About $90 million of that total is for family empowerment scholarships, so we don't even see that piece of it. The budget is a $39 million increase over the previous year. And just to give you some bearings on last year, our budget was $67 million more than the year before. Of the increase, $15 million of that is for the Family Empowerment Scholarship, so only about $24 million is actually coming to district schools and charter schools. And just so you know as well, we have the Florida Retirement System had an increase, which is going to cost us about $2.5 million as well. The Florida Education Finance Program generates about $9,331 per FTE, which is a $90 increase over last year. Our base student allocation is at $5,372.60, which is a $41.62 increase over last year. And the FEFP is right now for Lee County 40.52% state funded and 59.48% locally funded. So when you look at the budget, the operating budget, we can break that down, and this is the total operating, not just the FEFP. When you break that down, the local funding is at 64.91%, state funding is at 34.63%, and we have a very small piece of 0.46 federal. So you might ask, where does all that money go? Well, 71% of it goes straight into instruction and direct school expenses. We have a very small piece, 1%, that goes into what we consider other, which is basically our fee-based programs at our schools. We have our contingency and reserves at 3%. We have our support services at 4%. Our operations and maintenance is 16%, and our student transportation is 5%. So we need to make sure that we keep ourselves in a good place, so we always have contingencies and reserves in place in order, in case something happens, we can try and cover it. The state requires that we have a 3% contingency, and we do. We have $29.8 million set aside in contingency as required. And then we have a $12 million extra set aside in order to help meet with needs that come up that we could not plan for. So the next part of our budget is food service. It's currently budgeted at $69 million, and it's 2.35% of our budget. It includes breakfast and lunch for every child at no cost to parents. We are participating in the community eligibility program this year as well. And within the superintendent's reinvestment plan, we found $778,000 in this fund that we could realign into another area within the fund. Our special revenue, which is our grants, it's 2.16% of the budget. It's currently budgeted at $63 million. This you will see continue as the year goes on, as we receive more money. In your monthly budget amendments, you'll see that increase every month. And this one, we receive these dollars and we have to spend them based on those grant guidelines. I will tell you that we are in the process of reviewing these grants very closely. We do expect that in 27 we're going to see a change in the amounts that we're receiving. And so we're looking at trying to be fiscally responsible and making sure that we can cover everything that we need to cover. Our capital funds are budgeted at $1.2 billion. They're 40.47% of the total budget. It is basically funded from our our local property taxes and our sales tax. The major focus of our capital is safety and security upgrades, maintenance renovation, and technology and new classroom spaces. The 5-year capital plan includes 3 new elementary schools in the East Zone, a new middle school in the East Zone, a new high school in the East Zone, a pre-K to 8 in the East Zone, 1 addition, 2 rebuilds, 4 remodels and renovations, and additions at our technical centers. Our debt service is currently budgeted at $99 million, and it represents 3.39% of our total budget. The statutory debt service usage is at 31.3%. That is, the state says that you can use no more than 75% of your capital outlay funds to cover debt. And so we like to let you know where we are at all times with that. And while the state says we can't do more than 75%, the board has recommended that we don't do more than 50%. And so at that recommended rate, we're at 47%. I do want to point out that this is solely the debt that's being paid back from the capital outlay millage, does not include any debt that's being paid out from sales tax. And then we have our internal service budget. It's 7.73% of the budget, or $226 million. This covers our health and property insurance. And currently, the board covers $9,213.60 for each employee for health insurance, with an additional $4,000 for dependent care. And they also cover $20,000 for employee life insurance for every employee who works 30 hours more or more a week.
So with that, we are honored to present to you our final budget that supports over 100,000 students at 120 schools. This budget was developed not only with district administration, but with school leadership as well, centered around focusing on not only our district priorities, but state initiatives as well.
Thank you, Ms. Letcher. Thank you, Ms. Cox. At this point, we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which will be the public hearing. So we'll now recess this special board meeting and open public hearing to consider the adoption of the final proposed millage rates and the final budget for 2025-2026. The time is 5:23 p.m. So now I will ask Dr. Carlin, please continue by stating your recommendations.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Recommendation number 1, I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final budget, or proposed required local effort millage, of 3.071 mils, with a proposed amount to be raised of $498,608,981. Recommendation number 2, I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final proposed basic discretionary millage of 0.748 mils, with a proposed amount to be raised of $121,445,626. Recommendation 3, I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final proposed capital outlay millage of 1.500, with a proposed amount to be raised of $243,540,694. The total millage will equal 5.319 mils, with a total amount to be raised of $863,595,301. The total millage rate to be levied is more than the rollback rate. It is an increase in the rollback rate of 1.43%. Recommendation 4, I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the resolution determining revenues and millages levied and the resolution adopting the final millage rates for the fiscal year 2025-2026. And finally, recommendation 5, I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the final budget and related resolution adopting the final budget for the 2025-2026 school year as follows. Number 1, general operating, $1,281,739,638. Number 2, special revenue budget, $131,705,825. Number 3, debt service budget, $99,000,000. $18,536. Number 4, capital outlay budget, $1,181,726,237. Number 5, internal service budget, $225,604,837, for a total final budget of $2,919,795,073.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. This time, we're going to open up public comment. The time allowed for public comment for this hearing will be 3 minutes. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address this hearing and give public comment? We have anyone? Ms. Nguyen? Anyone else wishing to address? Okay, please. Just wait for the clock to begin, please.
Hello, I'm Kathy Nguyen. I've spoken to this board 3 times since my prevention services position was eliminated. The teacher in me always wants to ask at the end, are there any questions? But since that's not allowed, I'm going to answer the unasked question, why do you care so much about your job being eliminated? Most of the jobs I've had, and I've had many, were in the nonprofit sector. That's because it's important to me to help people. I worked at AgeLink, an information referral service that later became United Way 211. I worked at Senior Friendship Centers as a case manager, helping coordinate services for the elderly homebound. I worked as an independent living counselor at the South Carolina Commission for the Blind's Older Blind program. None of these jobs made me rich, but I made a difference in my clients' lives. When my children were little, I stayed home with them, but once my youngest started kindergarten, I volunteered at the school and then started substitute teaching. I did this until she could drive herself to school and to her activities. I was even named a high-impact teacher in 2017 for a long-term sub job I had. Once I decided to work full-time, I was hired by Hanley Foundation and trained as a prevention specialist. The next year, I came to the district in the same role. Before then, the focus had been more on peer mediation and bullying. An outdated course on Blackboard about cigarette smoking was used for infractions. My colleague and I worked tirelessly to create all the resources that are now found on the district prevention drive. We made those presentations. We gave those presentations. We kept them up to date by making any necessary changes. We were asked to create something to educate students about social media and school threats, and we did. We have created videos about empathy, bullying, peer pressure. We work with students to create PSAs. We wrote quarterly newsletters for the past 4 or 5 years. All of these are in our drive. We did what was asked of us and did it well. I challenge you to look through our district prevention drive and not be impressed. If I didn't know we could make a difference by utilizing all the resources my colleague and I have created, I would simply retire. I specifically became certified through the Alt-Cert course offered here for my prevention specialist position. There are no health K-12 teaching jobs at the district currently. Many teachers are leaving because they no longer have the passion required. Others are teaching without passion. I'm here before you with the passion to give 100% to my job. I'm not in it for the money. In fact, I've offered to work a 4-day week, save the district 20%, and still get the job done. The Jewel settlement money makes it possible for you to keep me. I hope that you will and allow me to continue my work for the students. We are not done. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience else wishing to give public comment for this hearing? Okay. Seeing none at this point, I just do want to put out there for the public that the public may ask us questions, but we are not going to respond as a whole as a board. Thank you. Okay. I am now going to reconvene the regular special meeting, and the time is 5:29 p.m. The board will now consider each of the superintendent's recommendations. So again, whenever you're ready, Dr. Carlin, please restate your recommendations.
Yes, sir.
Wait, hold on.
I do have a question. Do I wait till the end?
Each item. There'll be discussion on each item. Sorry, Madam.
Thank you, sir. I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final proposed required local effort millage of 3.071 mils with a proposed amount to be raised of $498,608,981.
Okay, thank you, Madam Superintendent. Board members, is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation? Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Ribble, seconded by Ms. Javiano. I will now open the floor to any discussion.
Mine's on,
Okay.
mine's on the final budget, so.
Mr. Persons, Ms. Jordan, is there any discussion?
I have none.
No, thank you.
Okay, at this point, then we're going to move ahead and move to a vote. Please.
I am a yes.
That was an aye, Mr. Persons.
Yes.
Okay, recommendation passes 6-0. Dr. Carlin, please present recommendation number 2.
Yes, sir. I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final proposed basic discretionary millage of .748 mils with a proposed amount to be raised of $121,445,626.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Board members, is there a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation? Mr. Ribble?
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Ribble, seconded by Ms. Juvenelli. Do we have any discussion? Mr. Persons, Ms. Jordan, any discussion?
No, thank you.
Okay, at this point.
No, thank you.
Oh, sorry. Was that it?
No.
That was a no, thank you.
Sorry about this, sir. Thank you. We're going to move to now vote on recommendation number 2. How do you vote, Mr. Persons? How do you vote, Mr. Persons?
I'm a aye. Aye.
Recommendation 2 carries 6-0. Dr. Carlin, please present recommendation number 3.
I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the 2025-2026 final proposed capital outlay millage of 1.500 with a proposed amount to be raised of $243,540,694. The total millage will equal 5.319 mils with a total amount to be raised of $863,595,301. The total millage rate to be levied is more than the rollback rate. It is an increase in the rollback rate of 1.43%.
Thank you, Dr. Carlin. Board members, is there a motion to approve that item, number 3? Mr. Ribble, is there a second? Okay, moved by Mr. Ribble, second of Ms. Javiano. Any discussion on recommendation number 3? Mr. Persons?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jordan. What about you, Mr. Persons?
I have none.
Okay, let's proceed to vote, please, on recommendation number 3. Mr. Persons, again, could you please continue?
I'm able to vote electronically now.
Okay.
It was an aye, but
Recommendation number 3 passes 6-0. Dr. Carlin, please present recommendation number 4.
I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the resolution determining revenues and millages levied and the resolution adopting the final millage rates for the fiscal year 2025-2026.
Thank you, Dr. Carlin. Board members, is there a motion to approve recommendation number 4?
Make a motion to approve number 4.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Mr. Ribble, seconded Mrs. Chaviano. Any discussion?
No, thank you.
Mr. Persons? Any discussion, sir?
none.
Okay, we're going to move on
Nope.
to vote on recommendation number 4. please. Recommendation 4 carries 6-0. Dr. Carlin, please present the final recommendation, number 5.
I recommend that the Lee County School Board adopt the final budget and related resolution adopting the final budget for the 2025-2026 school year as follows. Number 1, general operating, $1,281,739,638. Number 2, special revenue budget, $131,705,825. Number 3, debt service budget, $99,018,536. Number 4, capital outlay budget, $1,181,726,237. And number 5, internal service budget, $225,604,837 for a total final budget of $2,919,795,073.
Thank you, Superintendent Carlin. Board members, is there a motion to approve recommendation number 5?
Make the motion to approve.
We have a second? Moved by Mr. Ribble, seconded by Mrs. Chaviano. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Mrs.
No.
Juvenile. Oh, Ms. Jordan, any discussion? Mr. Persons?
I have none.
No, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Juvenile.
So based on the budget, will any of the schools in Lee County be making any staff decreases or on teachers or administration? I understand that the budget is based, each school has their own budget, but are they having to decrease staff based on this budget? And if so, like, what happens to the those that are contracted? Like, what happens, because we pay it regardless, they're all in contracts. So my concern is each school may have a decreased budget. So and that's my question, really. Are they going to be decreasing their budget?
So, yeah, when we do the day 10 count, there was reduced number of students than what we had projected at some of the schools, and so there will be some realignments at the schools. HR is working diligently with each of the schools that are losing to place those personnel at schools where they are gaining and they need the resources. So HR is working with people to make sure that we get placement for them.
And if I may just add to that, thank you very much. This is very common at this time of the year. Over 18 years of leadership experience here in the school district, every year we looked at what was projected, what we actually had in terms of students in the seat. Sometimes my school were the winner, and we would inherit some additional teachers from around the district. Sometimes we didn't have as many children show up, so we had to actually give teachers to other schools that had gained. So again, very typical for this time of year.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Thank you.
Okay, anything else from anyone else before we proceed to vote on recommendation number 5? Okay, please vote. Recommendation 5 passes 6-0. So I want to thank Ms. Letcher, Mrs. Cox for your hard work. I also want to thank Dr. Desamores for her hard work as well, so I appreciate you. We're now going to move on to item E, which is board member comment. Ms. Juvenile, any comment?
I have a little comment. You know, I'm proud that we were able to pass this budget while maintaining our commitment to fiscal responsibility. During my time on the school board, I've never seen such dedication from our superintendents and staff to work together in finding meaningful cost savings while supporting all our students and staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Juvenile. Mr. Ribble?
Yeah, I want to echo what Mr. Vianelli just stated. I thought we did an excellent job working together through the processes. I know we had a lot of cutbacks, some right sizing. We were critiqued pretty heavily on some of those things, but I think the end result will show in how we spend our money this year, 2026. I do want to give a lot of kudos out to the finance department and the communications people. As you know, 6 communities in Lee County are waiting for us to have this meeting tonight so they can do their budget and conclude their assessment millage rate. And I thought we did a great job putting out to the community over the weekend all these numbers, so there wasn't any mystery on what we were doing and how we figured out what our outcome was going to be. So I think a great job of being transparent and communicating. Thank you for all your hard work.
Ms. Jordan, do you have any comments?
No, I just want to say thank you. I mean, we're up here, talking with a lot of other districts, and everybody's going through this right now. So I just really appreciate the finance department and everyone doing the hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. What about you, Mr. Persons?
Yeah, again, I want to thank the staff for the work they did. This year was especially hard due to they didn't get the final numbers from the legislature. until much, much later. So they had to really rush to get this done, and they did an excellent job. And again, thank you. Kudos.
Thank you, Mr. Persons. Mrs. Chaviano?
I think I wanted to ditto everything everyone said, but thank you, Mr. Persons, for mentioning it. We did not get our numbers until later. And so that is a lot more work and timelining and extra math. So I do not envy any of that. So thank you for all of the hard work and getting us here, and all of the budget and right sizing that we had to do to get here. So yeah, looking forward to this school year and everything else. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Chaviano. Again, I just want to say thank you for that. I also want to recognize under this superintendent, as well as our finance department, that every single workshop we've had over, I would say at least since Dr. Carlin has been superintendent, we have had an item relating to the budget. And I think that's impressive, and I want the public to know that we're discussing this minimum at least once a month. So I appreciate that. Attorney DeBrie Bruno?
I have no comments, thank you.
Superintendent Carlin.
And I will join the chorus on the praise that is being leaped upon or felt upon our team. Just a very special thank you to Dr. Desamores, who I know is not able to be here tonight, but certainly led the charge and really worked very hard. Also Ms. Cox and Ms. Fletcher, always there for us, and just thank you very much for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. At this point, having no other business to come before this body and seeing no objection, this meeting is hereby adjourned. The time is 5:41 p.m., and I will see you all in 19 minutes at 6 o'clock.